Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Sunday Night Live,
Turn it off.
where we bring you all things automotive. If it has to do with the auto business, we bring it here. And we bring on the experts that share with us what they do and how they do it. Because the more informed we are of all of the pieces in our business, the better off we are. Now, you may notice that I'm not in my usual office setting with the green screen, quite frankly, because I can't really sit behind the desk for that long. I'm sitting on the old person's recliner chair.
No.
With the ice machine on my knee and ice packs on the other knee as I'm still recovering. I have my special guest this week, Terry Torline from Exogloss. He's going to be talking with us. Terry, I want you to give us your background, how you got into the business, what drives you, why Exogloss, why not something else, and then I'll share a little bit about my recovery, what's going on with that.
So I got into Exogloss. I got into it. I started off in the subprime. I did at a subprime auto finance company for about 6 years, and that morphed into and how the transition came about, but morphed into a detail company, and ran this detail shop for about 12 years. We did everything from window tinting to clear bras, detailing of cars, and part of that came working with dealerships and doing the application of appearance protection products. And got to be familiar with literally the dozens and dozens of appearance protection products that are out there. And there was one that I actually went to work for that did a very good job. Went to work for them in their sales department, training detailers on how to do the application, training the sales staff on how to do the application. The problem was that we needed to rethink appearance protection, and it morphed into my connection with Garen McMillian of True Warranty, and that's where Exogloss was born out of True Warranty. We set it up as its own appearance protection company with Exogloss because we really truly want people to rethink appearance. It's built on a customer experience. Its foundation is in the customer experience with our product. We found that the others were too costly, too time-consuming to apply. Inability to reinsure, but most importantly, they lacked engagement with the customer, and that is probably my battle cry, if you will, for our product. Is I want you to rethink it, because we are now able to link appearance to engagement back to the dealership, similar to the way that VSC contracts do, prepaid maintenance, tire and wheel gap, all the core products that a F&I department sells. We're able to tie that back to the dealership, and through this next hour, we'll explore those different ways that we do that. But that is the biggest thing is appearance protection kind of has gotten a black eye in the community or in the F&I department, and I want to bring that to the forefront and have people rethink appearance protection.
Awesome. All right, so a little update on the knee surgery. So the end of next week will be 4 weeks. So my goal is to be able to walk normally without a cane. We'll have to see how that goes. It really depends on what unfolds this week. It's been a really tough road. I had a week setback initially at the hospital. When I set my goal out for 4 weeks, my initial thought process was, I'm going in on Tuesday for the surgery in the morning, and Wednesday afternoon I was supposed to be headed home, and then scheduled home PT and all the stuff that happened. So when I set that 4-week goal or month goal, I hadn't counted on what would come after that, which was some complications from surgery that took my 2-day stay in the hospital and turned it to 18 days stay total between hospital and physical therapy. And I'm somebody that I plan all my work out, but one thing I hadn't planned on was pain. I hadn't planned for any pain whatsoever, not realizing that the pain that comes with this is a debilitating pain. All right, so
Ouch.
I've been doing really well with my exercises. The PT guy comes here, he abuses me. He's either going to kill me or get me to goal. One or the other, and I haven't quite figured out.
It's going to get you to goal.
He's got to get me to go. So he showed me all this stuff to do, and I've been doing them religiously. But today, I don't know what happened. But today, I was doing my exercises in the morning. I did the whole shower thing, which is a challenge also unto itself. And the next thing you know, I was so wiped out that I passed out on the sofa, and I slept most of the afternoon on the sofa. And then I got a text from Terry say, "Hey, are we still on?" Because I was supposed to send a link in the morning, and it just my whole day got shifted. So I don't plan, unfortunately, for pain and the inconvenience of pain. And this type of surgery is one that has crazy pain like you can't imagine.
Well, Paul, I've had surgeries like that, and you set probably one of the most optimistically ambitious goals for double knee replacement surgery of anybody that I know to get back to you in 4 weeks. And I saw your video the other day. You seemed to be walking well. It looked like there was a little bit of pain going on there, but it seemed like you were walking pretty well.
Yeah, for the most part, the first 2 weeks is the worst on the pain. Although right now I'm in the unexpected blessings part of the pain. So what I mean by that is at any given moment, and I don't know when, it's not predictable, I could have either sharp, intense pain that comes out of nowhere, lasts for a short time, or due to medication, like extreme cold. It's like I'm freezing, but from the inside out. You could put 10 inches worth of blankets on me, it wouldn't make any difference. I'm still freezing. It's funny, at nighttime, I have my knee iced while I'm sleeping, and I'm covered in blankets and quilts, and you name it, I'm covered in it. And my wife's got the fan going overhead, and she's got all the covers off, and she's like burning up because it's so hot in the room. And I'm freezing. So when she's sleeping, I kind of reach over, I grab the button, and I turn off the fan, like she doesn't notice. She wakes up because it's too freaking hot for her. And then she'll turn the fan on, and then I'll wake up because now I'm freezing again. So it kind of goes back and forth like that. But she got smart because towards the end of the evening, I couldn't find the clicker anymore. So I'm guessing that she hit it on the other side. So I just had to freeze.
Nicely done, Paulette.
So that's the update. This week should be interesting. 3 days of physical therapy. I've done really well. I've gotten greater range of motion in the knees. So hopefully it won't be as painful. When this guy bends my knee, I literally scream at the top of my lungs. My wife's having meetings in her studio downstairs, and she'll hear through the floor me screaming at the top of my lungs because this guy, he says, "Look, I'm going to get you to the goal of how much you need to bend one way or another." And he does. But of course, with that comes very loud screaming pain. So that's the update. Thank you, everybody that's reached out, everybody that's continuing to reach out. I get messages, phone calls, texts every day from friends that care and that want to know how my recovery's going.
Well, from all your friends in the community that aren't here right now, we wish you all a speedy recovery. So
it means a lot. So I appreciate it. So let's get on with the show. So it says that you said the biggest problem you solve is the chemistry. Now define the chemistry.
So the chemistry is the actual product that's applied to the car in order to give it the enhancement that the extra shine. So there's basically a wax is going to do the same thing, but a wax is an organic compound, and it's going to melt off of the car. It melts off at about 135 degrees surface temperature. So there's a synthetic wax called a polysealant. Greater than that, you can go up to ceramics, graphene. There's varying degrees of products that are on synthetic in nature. Still, probably the best for your car is going to be a wax because it offers a high glow to your car, or a higher glow than the synthetic sealants are going to add. But these the reason you put wax on your car is pretty simple. It creates that barrier, that layer between the painted surfaces or the clear coat of your car, and creates that barrier and allows the debris, tree sap, bug guts, bird droppings, whatever it is, allows that to be cleaned off easier. From the interior, we protect against stains from food and drink, diaper spills, whatever you name it, crayons, whatever stains the interior of your car. we offer the protection to do that. We can also do that on a dry basis using the dealer's chemicals or chemistry or products. And we can provide that same warranty on what we call a dry basis. So the dealer doesn't have to do anything extra, but use their existing chemistry in their detail department, and we can warranty or wrap our warranty around that. One of the things, as I talked about it earlier, one of the things that dealerships have a problem with is that it becomes too costly to bring the customer back in, re-detail the car, reapply or apply the product to the vehicle. All that adds time, labor, and cost to doing that. We can do it with just straight out from the finance department. We can wrap our service contract, our warranty, the appearance warranty into theirs using their chemistry. We have great chemistries or chemicals. We have a good, better, and a best program. We have a synthetic polysealant all the way up to a ceramic coating. So if you want to use our products, you can do that. And we break it down into your ability to use our chemistry or the chemistry that the dealer has. So I guess, if you will, you go to our website, we're chemistry agnostic from that standpoint, so that you can apply it on a wet or a dry basis. The dealer has that choice as to which direction that he wants to go.
So they can use your product, insure it, or they can use their own product, insure it.
Correct. If you are in love with your product, your chemistry, for whatever reason, that's fine. We're going to let you use whatever product that you want. And then we're going to insure it. If the dealer wants to put that into his reinsurance pool, or the agent wants to reinsure it, we can move that into their reinsurance as well. This is a product that allows you to so much value in the product for the consumer, and why we built it as a customer experience, because it provides so much value to the customer from protection from the interior and exterior. But you can now marry that with other products that they have in the finance department, whether it be a 3-3 warranty, a powertrain, a 6-month warranty, whatever you want to partner that with. And it's now going to provide value or additional value to the other products at a relatively low price point. We build that in for the dealer.
Well, what I found interesting, right, is that when you, on one of your videos, it shows that people will, when they buy a phone, everybody has a phone, everybody has a car, everybody lives somewhere, right? Those are like the staples. That and food. Somehow food got on there. But people buy a phone, and the first thing they do is they put a cover on it.
True.
And then they buy a warranty for it.
Right.
Right. So they spend, I think the number was 10%, correct me if I'm wrong, about 10% of what they spend on the phone, they spend right off the bat to protect it. And I challenge you that number's low, actually.
I agree. The number is probably low. What a cell phone is $1,000 nowadays for an Apple or an iPhone, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200. I mean, on the low side, it might be $500, and a case cover is going to be anywhere from $50 to $100. And then additionally, the insurance on that's going to be $8-10 a month in order to have that insurance.
$15.
Exactly. So we're not coming up with numbers that you go, well, that's pretty high, pie in the sky type numbers.
Right.
These are actual numbers that you pay, and we protect that $1,000 with all this, with this additional product, and we're not doing that with the cars. The value of the paint. Look, there's 3 pillars that I talk about quite a bit. There's 3 pillars in the resale or the value of your car. It's going to be the year, it's going to be the miles, and it's going to be the appearance. Right. So you can't change anything about the year or the miles. At least you're not supposed to do anything about the miles, but you can have an effect on the appearance by keeping it clean, by providing or putting a protection product or an appearance related product on there, backed by a warranty. And that's the critical piece, is backed by a warranty, because it's not if, but it's when. How many times you've owned several cars? Have you ever blown an engine on a car? One. The odds, but you've owned way more than one car. You've owned 5, 10, 15 cars. The odds of the engine actually going or needing service contract related work, again, there's a number, 25, 30%, whatever it is, but not everybody's going to need that service contract. It's great. It's valuable. It's necessary. If something goes wrong, it's an important insurance product for you. Don't get me wrong. But I can promise you that you are going to get bug guts or bird droppings or spill something on the interior. you need to have that protection that if something goes wrong, you have a warranty that's going to back up and pay for anything. We offer 0 deductibles, unlimited claims. You can file a claim on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, whatever, as needed. And there's 0 deductible to the customer.
And you're saying you can pump this right in through their reinsurance?
This can go into their reinsurance platform if you want to do it as a dealer on a walk-away basis. If you follow our guidelines, we want you to do a preload of our product on all of your cars. Give this value to your consumer and advertise that this is what we do with our cars. We feel that appearance is so valuable on a resale basis. We're going to give you this product up front or include it in the purchase price. So yeah, we want you to, and if you want to put that into your reinsurance, you can do so. If you don't, if it's a deal that you only sell 10, 15, 20 of these on a monthly basis and you don't want to reinsure it, you don't have to. We can do it on a walk-away basis. But this is plus business that you can, if you're a single point store, you may or may not want to put it into your reinsurance. But if you're a multi-point or an auto group, you're certainly going to want to include this in your reinsurance platform.
I mean, they're great products. Are there even many claims on something like this?
The claims are relatively low. It's not necessarily the frequency of claims. The frequency is actually higher than you would think, but the severity of those claims is relatively low. If you have the severity of a service contract, it's going to run you hundreds or thousands of dollars from the get-go. But on appearance-related claims, there's a higher degree of frequency, but a really low degree of severity of losses. So on an average, $200-300 is what you're going to expect as far as a claim. There are claims that are higher than that, but it's the frequency in any insurance product. It's frequency versus severity.
Now, what's the interior versus exterior? Is there one that tends to have more claim than other?
The interior has a lot more claims than the exterior does, just because the virtue of use. The products work very well, and so our claims are relatively low. One of the things that we've added or included in there is rips, burns, and tears, and that seems to be more along the lines of what we get more claims on, is the rips, burns, tears aspect of it. Somebody, you throw something into the seat and it catches a corner and tears the leather. You have a sharp object or a pen or something and there's a puncture in the seat. The burns, not so much anymore. People don't smoke in their car as much as they used to, but that still happens on quite a few occasions. So I would say from the rips, burns, tears, that's probably more of the higher degree of frequency that we see in those losses.
And then talk to me about some of the training that you do.
So the training is I break the training up into 3 areas. So there's pre-sale, sale, and post-sale. If you in the total lifespan of the customer's experience. So what we want to do, what we've done, and we built this in a COVID era, which is kind of fortunate for us against our competition, because we're able to do videos. The one that you saw, we have consumer-facing websites to educate the customer on the values or the value of this particular product, the benefits to the customer. We have pushed that out so that they can get educated on it during the buying process. I want this car, I want this car, I want this car. Hey, look, I get these options, or I can get this option as well. This is going to be important to me, because they may be going to a light versus a dark interior. A light interior shows more stains, shows more dirt. But if I get this protection product, I can go with the lighter interior because it's going to be cooler during the summer. So this is the pre-sale activity, and we want to educate the consumer on that piece of it. Educate the sales team on that of it, so that he's pointing those things out. Mr. Customer, on a resale basis, this is going to help you, or help you on a resale basis. It's going to help keep your car clean. During that sales process, the salesman is doing the training. In a dealership, if you have 10 salespeople, 2 are going to sell products after products after products. 2 are never going to sell any products. And that's 6 in the middle that really need the education and the training. And because we're in this COVID era where we can't get out as much as we used to, I used to be on the road 3, maybe 4 weeks out of the month, every month. We don't have that ability to to go out to the dealerships as much as we wanted to or were used to. So we've had Zoom meetings and websites and informational videos that we're sending out to the sales teams in order to educate them on the product so that they can educate the customer. And then on the back end, even more importantly than that, is going to be the post-sale. And that's one of the things that we've talked about extensively here is claims. The experience with a customer's claim is probably the most paramount piece in the pie. Through our affiliation with Your Dealer Experience, we have a claims app that a consumer can file a claim and get an answer generally in about 60 seconds. And that claims app can be branded to the dealership, or you can use our existing app in order to do that. But the post-sale experience for the customer is, well, we bought a great product and we got great service. And you want to make sure that you marry those two, because again, the customer experience in this whole thing from day one, the way that it was built on customer experience, is how they integrate with or how they engage with our product and how that relates back to the dealership, because it's all about revenue and retention. We want to have the retention in the consumer to drive them back to the customer so that the dealer, drive them back to the dealer so that the dealer can sell more cars. So engagement is really important with our product, and we want them to have a positive experience on the claim side as well as with the product itself.
Now we'll get to that in a second, but speaking of engagement, I totally blanked on the comments here, so my apologies. Starting with my buddy Joe Perez says, hello all. That's Joe Perez from California. Kelly Williams, good evening all. Steve Chesson with the hey, what's up emoji. Lou Ramirez, one of the coffee guys. Hey, Terry.
Hey, Lou.
Oh, you're really brewing with the best tonight. Everything is coffee themed with those guys. I'm seeing a pattern.
It is.
And I've gotten their coffee as well. Good stuff. Ron Glant, how are you, my friend? Thanks for joining in. Abel Aguirre, glad you're back home, Paul. Thank you. I'm glad I'm home also. I'll be even more glad when the pain is all gone, but that'll come. Lou Ramirez says, you got this, Paul. Praying for a sudden turnaround. Excited to hear the story of the turnaround. Thank you. And Michael Landis, Inkcentric in California. You got to see for all your stuff. Says, hello, everyone. And Carmine Cristino, my buddy, local doctor in the area here, says, great content. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So getting back to the customer experience, and this is what I love, because I've had Steve Apicella on the show before. You guys have seen him a couple of times, and he is the guy with Your Dealer Experience. What I love about that is the typical scenario today is you as a customer, you buy a car, and you go into the box or the F&I office, as it's known, and you buy some product. And when you buy product, you leave. And if you have a particular need for servicing any of the products that you bought, most often when you go back into the service department, nobody knows what you bought. So you as a customer come in, hey, yeah, you know, I got this thing on my interior, you know, and I have some kind of warranty. And the service advisor looks at you like you have 4 heads on your shoulder. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you have. You don't remember what you bought? Well, no, I bought it from you. So right off the bat, you're setting up an adversarial relationship, right? One where now the customer feels that, hey, you know what? I just spent 40 grand here, and you don't even know what I bought, right? Whereas through your product, in conjunction with Your Dealer Experience, I think the customer has their own app, correct?
That is correct. So Steve has built this entire platform and saw the need and saw the problem years before anyone else did, and has worked diligently on solving that plumbing problem that goes on in the disconnect between variable and fixed ops, between products that are sold in the F&I department, and has made tremendous strides on connecting those products through the app. I was talking to him the other day about some ways that even though there's different administrators, there's ways in order to connect the app, or to connect 2 different administrators through his app. So the biggest thing that you want as a consumer, you want to have this app on your phone, whether it be the True Warranty app, whether it be the Your Dealer Experience hybrid app, or whether it be branded to the dealer. The name on the front or on the window doesn't matter. It's all the plumbing behind the scenes that really makes this work for the customer. Makes it easier when he pulls into the drive. So he has this app on his phone. He's going to leave it on there. In our case, for the next 7 years, because we have up to a 7-year warranty, he's going to leave that on his phone, and that's going to drive it back to the consumer. In addition to that, we put into the door jamb that this car is protected by Exogloss appearance protection package, and there's a QR code. We use the QR, and so the customer doesn't have to know what he bought, where he bought it, and how much he paid for it or anything. He can go and scan the QR code, and it will take the service manager or the service advisor directly into a way in order to obtain service on that, either through the app or through an 800 number or through the website. So the engagement piece from the customer standpoint, I've heard over and over customers standing in the middle of the showroom on a Saturday morning going, I know I bought something to protect my car, but I don't know who services it, how to get service on it. That's what you don't want. You want the customer to pull in. Now think of it this way. You go in for an oil change, the service advisor opens up the door, sees this piece on there, also sees a dent in your car or whatever the case is, or sees a stain on the interior. And in addition to this, Mrs. Customer, Mr. Customer, in addition to the oil change today, we're going to take, I've noticed that you have Exogloss protection, appearance protection on your car. We're going to go ahead and take care of this stain for you at no cost to you today. Think of the customer, think of the Yelp review that you're going to get from that. Think of the post that you're going to get from that from the customer. I went in for an oil change and they did this. The expectation was simply the oil change. They went above and beyond at no cost to the dealership, actually at a profit to the dealership, because we pay the service manager, the service department for the fixing of that particular claim. So at literally a profit to the dealer, he's fixed a problem for the consumer that was really just kind of a problem. Think about this. When you buy a car, from a car dealer standpoint or from a dealer standpoint, we always say, when does a new car become a used car? As soon as it crosses the curb, as soon as the brake lights blink, right? But when that customer drives the car home, parks it in his driveway and say, hey, Mr. Jones, look at my used car. No, it's always look at my new car. And it stays a new car until that look back experience kind of goes away. When they kind of look over their shoulder and go, that thing's a piece of junk now. It's got too many dents, too many stains, too many whatever. I've got a 2-year-old truck. It's in immaculate condition, still brand new. Me, it's still a new truck, but it's 2 years old. For me, it's still a new truck. Others don't have that same experience. If you let your car get away from you, if you let the appearance of your car get away from you, that's when it becomes a used car. And that's when it starts to go downhill. We want to keep that customer in that new car experience for as long as possible to get them to the next car, because the car that I bought from ABC Chevrolet just stays cleaner longer. I don't know why, but it does. So we want to keep them in that experience that they have a positive experience with the product, with the process, and with the people involved. And Steve's app does a real good job of connecting that back end from a service standpoint and making sure that the customers do have that positive experience. He's done a real good job with that.
Done a wonderful job. And it's interesting here. First of all, we got Robert Sebastian says, hi guys. And Russ Kloskin says, good point, Paul. In addition, they are a pain to process for most, but as you heard here from Terry, not so much the case. So Russ says, how is your service different, Terry? And you just hit it nail on the head. Now, I don't know if the 7-year thing is just coincidence or what, but I'm sure we've all heard of the 7-year itch. After 7 years, people tend to want to change something, anything. Doesn't seem to matter what it is, but the 7-year itch. So for you to have the appearance protection warranty run 7 years, it's almost freaky, man.
It is almost freaky. There was a logic behind it. It used to be customers traded their cars in about every 4.5 years, so the 5-year warranty was the thing. And then it got to be where cars lasted longer and people were holding on to it. The economy was such. people started holding on to cars longer. We're not, I don't know that it's really creeped up to maybe, a full 7 years that a customer does that with leases and the advent of leases and what have you. But people are keeping their cars longer. So if you're going to keep your car for 7 years, I can guarantee almost that you're going to utilize that warranty at some point in time during that 7 years.
And then I love the part about the QR code, sticker in the door jamb. I mean, that is brilliant, because if I brought my car in, so my car, and you made a good point, it's always new to the customer, right? So my car is I've got a 3-year-old Legacy. I love the car. The only thing wrong with it is there's a slight scrape on the back bumper, because I bumped into our friend Janzi's car after she just bought her car.
Oh,
I was in a rush. I back up. Of course, I have a backup mirror, but you think I'd look at it when I'm in a rush? No. At the last second I saw it, I slammed on the brakes. I ended up backing into her bumper. I fixed her car. I didn't quite fix mine. But once I'm back on my feet, so to speak, and the temperatures get a little bit warmer, I'm going to go down to my dealer and have that bumper thing taken care of. But to your point of the QR code, I mean, that is beyond brilliant, all right? Because the scenario that you painted before plays out in dealerships across the country every day. I bought something, I'm not sure what. Good luck trying to get a hold of the F&I person while they're in there on a turn. The last thing they want to be is interrupted for anything by anybody at all, ever. So with that QR code, that is freaking brilliant. If I'm a customer and you're my service advisor, and you come to me and say, listen, we're going to take care of this, but we also noticed that you had this particular issue, and thank you for buying that warranty from us. It's a very smart thing to do, because now we're going to cover that while the car's here. I'm going to think you guys walk on water. And I'm an avid reviewer. I do hundreds of reviews, mostly good. Unless it's really, really a shitty experience, you're not going to hear about it, right?
Right.
I had a really bad experience. That video has now crossed 118,000 views on YouTube.
Wow.
So yeah, you want to make sure you take care of your customers, because you're going to piss off the wrong person one day, and he's going to tell a few people about it. In my case, 118,000.
Ouch.
So that's brilliant. Any customer would love that, and I haven't seen anybody else do that, to be perfectly honest with you. And I've been around, and I've seen a lot of product providers, but I haven't seen anybody offer that kind of transparency, notification, whatever you want to call it. I think it's great. So I tip my hat to you guys.
So we do that. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's that transparency. We want you to file a claim. We want you to go engage with our product. We want you to engage with the dealership. But more importantly, we want the dealer to engage with the customer with this product and get whatever service that needs to be done. You there?
Yeah, I mean, that's why you bought it. You might as well get your use out of it.
That's why you bought it. So engage with the product. And we pushed that QR code. QR codes were kind of, they were around before. They kind of came and went. But they really came back strong when the restaurants, didn't want to put out or push the paper menus.
Yeah. So
everyone's familiar with the QR code now. And we pushed that piece out. We pushed that out on our digital marketing. Scan here, that video is now in a QR code. So we put the sticker onto the windows in the showroom, and the customer can then learn about the product before the salesman introduces it. The salesman may or may not feel comfortable. Maybe the process was contentious. I don't know. But the consumer can then make that educated buying decision. Glenn Lundy had a great video about 2 or 3 weeks ago and really drove the point home that people will buy when value exceeds the price, period. I mean, that simple statement is the one that everybody knows. And that's what we've tried to do throughout this process, is build that value. Too often we see the sales team, I'm not going to introduce it. It was a tough sale to begin with. The customer, I don't think they're going to be interested in it. They're making the decision for the customer. And we want the customer to make that decision, because they're the one that's going to be actively involved with the payment, with the process, with the product, they're going to be the ones actively involved with that. So we want them to make that decision and not leave it up to the finance department, not leave it up to the sales team, not leave it up to, I'm working my pay plan and I don't get paid on this product. But let's engage with the customer on a product that we know that they're going to benefit from. So that's the piece that we drive on the front end, from the QR codes all the way through to a post-sale process by including it in their door jam. We know that we can use Steve's app, the YDE app, or Your Dealer Experience app, in order to engage with the customers on multitudes of other levels. But sometimes the consumer just doesn't remember that they have it. And if the service advisor is able to see that, noticing that, not often, we talk about a lot where a guy will drive 50 miles in order to save a few bucks on a car. But they're not going to drive that same 50 miles to get their oil changed. They're going to go to their local dealer, their local service area. And that's where we want that local guy to be able to get that service done. Again, it's all about the customer's experience with our product.
Yeah, no, I mean, the easier you make it for them, just the better off everybody is. Ron Usher says a clean car to a lot is a happy customer. Everyone wants their car to look like it did on the showroom floor. This is why we wash every car at service time at the dealership. Paint protection plans are great. Now, here's the funny thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's an easy thing to train on. And what a lot of salespeople lose sight of, and service folks too, is, as you said, they make the decision for the customer as to whether or not they're going to buy something. That is just so wrong, right? There are two components to every sale. There's the sale itself, and then there are the additional items that enhance that sale. And those two pieces should always be separate. Because if you sell the value, in service, we call it selling the green, right? You tell the customer, hey, you're in for this particular service. We're also checking these items as part of our inspection process, because we want to make sure that you get the best service and life out of your car. And the only way to do that is to make sure that we check these things for you. So we check these 10 things, and of the 10 things, 8 of them are perfect. One of them is questionable, and one of them, based on the measurements, should be replaced. And this is why. This is the benefit to replacing it, right? We'll keep an eye on the other items as you come into us for servicing. So now you're training the customer to expect that level of service, which goes beyond what most people do. The problem is nobody sells the green. So when the car comes into a shop, and I don't care what kind of shop it is, whether it's a dealership, whether it's an aftermarket repair shop, I don't care where you go, it seems to be the same situation every time, where there's always this giant laundry list of my car needs everything. And let's face it, if I'm in my car for a period of time, stuff wears gradually. There may be stuff that's suggested, but I have no idea that it's even necessary, because I'm not experiencing any problem. So right off the bat, you lose trust with the company that's not selling the green. Now, when I flip it to your product and I flip it to the variable side of things, the salesperson focus on selling the car. Once the car is sold, then you talk about the other stuff. But before, everybody's driving something before they come in to buy something new to drive. And more often than not, they're going to trade that car in. So the easiest and the best time to start the process is when you're going through the sales process. When I'm doing a silent walk around with a customer, I'm walking around the car, I'm noting the condition, I'm touching the damage, I'm not saying anything, because now the customer comes in their mind, their car's worth $10,000. Just the fact that I touched the tail lamp that's broken without saying a word, I might even glance back at them after I look at it. I look at the broken light, I look at them, and I keep going. Without saying a word, mentally, that customer has just subtracted $500 from the value of that car, because they know that the damage is there and the damage affects the condition of the car. When you're looking at a car that has had no paint treatment whatsoever, and you try to run your hand across the paint, and the paint is dull and it's faded, and you get down and you're looking at it, and it's rough. It's an easy conversation. Wow, had you only waxed it a couple of times, that it would look differently. The value of the car, it would be that much more money. So these are simple seeds that you can plant, so that when you get to that part where they've made the commitment, they're buying the car. Now, when they see your video, why it's important to enhance the value of the vehicle, or to keep it looking nicer longer, why it's important. When you're going through somebody's interior and you're seeing stains that, yeesh, you don't even want to sit in that car sometimes. It looks so nasty. But when you're going through the car with them and you point that stuff out to them, that's stuff that doesn't have to be there. And it's just an education process, that if you educate them that it doesn't have to be that way. And for 7 years, I mean, that's a long time.
That's a long time. It's a long time to be married to the customer through that contract, that warranty. I think, unlike any other products that are in the finance department, this is the most easily relatable product that can be portrayed through the finance department, because everybody shares the same experience of harshness of winters, the salt on the road, and it protects against the salts, those types of things. So the harshness of winter, the harshness of summer, I don't care where you live, you're going to experience the benefits of this product, and it's easily relatable. So from that standpoint, I appreciate and understand where you're coming from. We want to push that piece of it out to the consumer, let them have the choice in order to decide whether or not this is a product that they want to have.
Right. If your car didn't look this way, it would be worth X amount more dollars. When you looked up the value of your car at here, yeah, that's the car that had that done. Yours didn't. So you give them the option at that point. I mean, it seems very simple, but as usual in life, we tend to complicate things when we shouldn't. We have our good friend Ty Thompson, says, "Good evening, gentlemen." Ty Thompson is from Cars on the Move, and he's hooked up with Jay Wurzberger, Auto Transport Intel. They have 4 shows on YouTube every week. I strongly advise everybody to follow them on YouTube, to watch that show, because I've learned so much since I got connected with those guys, and you will too. Transportation is crucial. And guess who's on right now with us but Steve Apicella himself.
Mr. Apicella, how are you tonight?
Steve says, "Does customer experience and digital engagement matter in 2021? You bet it does. Leaders will always lead. Everyone's not delivering it is part of the disconnected from reality problem that exists throughout our industry. Thanks for the shout out. Hashtag your dealer experience." Steve, I was very impressed with your product, even more so as I'm getting to know Terry. Just great stuff. So Russ Kloskin says, "So Exogloss covers PDR and minor exterior damage, question mark?"
It's not minor exterior paint damage. So we call it etching, whatever would etch into the paint, hard water etching, bug guts, bird droppings, that type of stuff. The scratch on your bumper, unfortunately, you're going to have to take that to your collision. That's not something we would entertain. But yeah. Tree sap does damage the hood. We had a customer that took their car out to Palm Springs, 120 degrees later. Bird did what birds do on the hood of his car, left it out there for 4 days at 120 degrees. Needless to say, we ended up having to repaint that hood because it was damaged. It was caused by the birds, and literally etched into the paint. There was no saving that piece.
Right.
He came into the dealership, and we repainted the hood of the car, blended it in, came out perfect, and that was all covered under his warranty. So yeah, there was a question earlier about these claims are a pain in the butt in order to. I get it. I've heard those experiences, but we have, with Steve's app, with our claims department, brought everything, and we keep it in house. That we are transparent with regard to the claims. And if for some reason you have a claims experience that it's fallen off the tracks and going sideways, my phone number is directly on LinkedIn. My phone number is all over the website. Get me involved, and I'm more than happy to solve that. Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. We do make mistakes on occasion, so more importantly than making a mistake is how you fix the mistake after it's been made. Right. So if there is a situation, we definitely want to get involved. One of the other things that we talked about, about the appearance product and when to start talking about it. One of the things when I was in retail is that we had a guy who was considered himself a closer, and my manager always got upset with him for being a closer, because if you opened the relationship properly, you don't need a closer. Right. And if you bring someone in, if you engage with the customer in a transparent, positive, kind manner, and be kind seems simple, but going to buy a car is almost like you're going into battle. And we want to change that piece. It's a transaction that you want to start. You start with a transaction and build a relationship. And if you open the conversation up properly, you don't need to close them on any products. They'll close themselves on the products. They know what they want. They know what they need. It may not be what's best for you, but it's certainly going to be best for the customer. So
the beauty of the sales model today is that it's kind of flipped on its head, right?
Yeah.
It used to be the old put them in the car, right? It's like you're doing something to them. That's not the way it's done anymore. Now it's more you present the value. You need to do the discovery to see if there's a need. And if there's a need, you need to show how your product addresses that need. And when the customer recognizes the value for Glenn Lundy, right, that's when they're happy to buy it. Hey, he was upstairs.
I love Oreo joining the show. You kind of set that up, Paul, and I'd like to really discuss that piece of it, because I do engage as VP of sales. I do engage dealers on a regular basis, and I see a lot of my contemporaries that start off with a email something or a DM that goes something like this: I can double your penetration, I can increase your profits, I can do this. The reality is you don't even know what their current penetration is or their current profits are. You need to do that. And again, I'm going back a little old school, but you need to do that needs assessment. The same thing we do with the customer is a needs assessment. There's no reason to put a gardener into a Prius, because that's not the vehicle that he needs for his job, and vice versa. So we want to make sure that we understand what the consumer needs or what the dealer needs. What's important to you? What are your pain points with your current product? You probably have an appearance product, and I guarantee you're going to have some pain points. Let me help you solve those. Speaking of pain points, but let me help you solve those. And let's
up on that.
So let's do that needs assessment. We're going to have a conversation. I'm going to do my homework before I come in to have that conversation with you. I'm going to know as much as I can possibly find out. Your website tells me a great deal of information. Your finance department will fill me in with more detail. And if I haven't done my homework, then I don't deserve your time. And that's one of the things that I want to do first is go to your website, talk to your finance people, go to your LinkedIn page. Let me do my homework to make sure that I understand what it is you're looking for, what it is you do, and that our values do align with, and I'm not talking about values from a 1950s perspective, right? But do our values really align? Is the customer experience important to you? Because it's important to us, and if it's not important to you, well, we may not have the right product for you. There may not be a fit. We're not a fit for 100% of the dealerships that are out there, but we're a fit for more dealerships that we're in right now. So let's have that, continue that conversation. Let me know where your pain points are. There's a reason why your penetration is low on this product. If you're not north of 65% penetration on this product, there's a good reason as to why. It's not because nobody wants to sell it. It's because you're having a bad experience in service. You're having a bad experience in application. You're having a bad experience somewhere, because we've established that the value's there. So why not, let's understand what the issue is in order to get you to that 65 or north of 65%. Let me do my job and understand what your needs are in order to get you there. That's where my value comes in.
And now here's the thing too, because it's so transparent, it's almost like the gift that keeps giving. And what I mean by that is that when you have these customers that come into service, where you make them aware that, hey, you've got this issue with your interior or your exterior that is covered by this policy. This is why we put the sticker in your door jamb, so that we all know. There's a small percentage of the customers that know they have this stuff. They know about the app, they're savvy and all that, but still the bulk of the customers probably will not remember, or it's not front center of something that they're thinking about. So
right.
There's an area where I think the company will excel tremendously. When you spring a surprise like that on somebody, that is the perfect opportunity. See Oreo?
Hey, Oreo.
Hey buddy. Oreo wants to be on the show.
Oreo's now popular. Oreo needs his own LinkedIn Live.
Well, actually, if you do a Facebook search for the adventures of Ben and Oreo, Ben Ben's right here. The whole show. They have their own show on Facebook, so you'll get to see some of their past episodes. But not to lose track. So the customer comes in, you've said, hey, yeah, you're coming in for your service, great. We notice you've got a tear in your interior that we're going to take care of under your policy that you were smart enough to purchase. Well, you might not want to word it that way, but so they're happy. When they come back and you present that car to them, look at this, right? You take a picture of the before and you take a picture of the after, because I'm sure you're going to need to take that picture anyway for the claim.
You need it for the claim.
But here's the freaking beauty of it all, because I'm Mr. Live Video himself. You take out your phone and you get a live video, or whether it's live or not, you get a video from the customer, their reaction when they're looking at, you just handled their claim. Talk about that. Oh, the claims can be a pain in the butt. Not if I take care of all of it for you without you even expecting that it was going to be taken care of. So now you get a quick testimonial video from the customer, anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. We're not talking about Metro Goldwyn Mayer production here. 30 to 60 second video endorsement that you can now ask them to share in their social media because you took care of them, and you can share it on yours. You tag them, their friends see it. The average person has 500 Facebook friends. You mean to tell me that if 3 of their friends interact and 1,500 people now see how happy you made them on something unexpected, you don't think that's going to register in the back of somebody's mind so that the next time they need to buy a car, they're going to think, hey, you know what? I remember my friend went here, and without even expecting it, they took care of a problem for them. I mean,
you found a solution. You found a solution for a problem they didn't or weren't aware that existed, that there was a solution for. I know it was a need. I didn't remember that I bought a product. I remember I bought for my daughter a policy for when she went away to college. It was a 4-year insurance policy to protect her computer and a bunch of other personal items in her apartment. And 4 years later, after she got several things taken or stolen or lost, 4 years later, I got a renewal notice for that policy. I forgot I even bought the damn thing. And they wanted me to renew it. I'm like, well, there's really no reason to renew it. I kind of wish I would have remembered that I had it. I kind of wish that I had that QR code. And that was one of the reasons or the things that sparked my interest. I realized that I bought it. I proactively went out and purchased that particular insurance piece, but forgot that I had it. I wish there was one place that would store all pieces of warranty information. Wait, that's called Your Dealer Experience, isn't it? What a great product. So that's where we want to have all these products. In addition to the interior, exterior, somebody asked the question of PDR, and we have a bundle of products. We have 7 ancillary products that we sell in one bundle. The price point on it's about $4 a month in your payment. $4 a month in your payment, and here's what it covers. Interior and exterior, paintless dent repair, cosmetic wheel, windshield, and key protection. And the seventh item is roadside protection. So it covers 7 different items that are something is gonna happen to you.
Wait,
And
you said
get that.
key.
What's that?
And you said key.
Key.
How
Key
many
protection.
customers trade in cars? They only have one key to the freaking car.
Several. And they get knocked down for it because somebody's got to buy that second key.
Yeah.
They've lost the spare key. They may keep their own the existing key, but they've lost the spare somewhere. And when you turn it in, they want the 2. Whether it's a lease or whether it's a purchase, this is a great product on leases too, because more and more, it used to be back in the day where if there was any damage, they just kind of brush it under the rug and say, oh, no, it's okay, you're going to buy another one from us. But more and more captives are charging back, hundreds of dollars on any physical damage that is on the car, dents, cosmetic wheels. And the reason we have the cosmetic wheel has a bigger frequency of use than a full tire and wheel policy. Because of the low profile tires that we have, those now scrape against what used to be the white wall that would scrape against the curb. We're now scraping our actual wheel against the curb. Curb rash. So that has a higher frequency of use. But we have, we have a nationally recognized company that fixes these wheels for us. We get, because we do such large volume with them, we're able to get it a little bit better price than if you were to walk in and have that same service done. Yeah. So by doing it at scale, we're able to provide that customer with a bundle of products, 7 ancillary products, wipe those off the table and say, fine, we're going to go and put this bundle together, this package together for you. And now the F&I department can focus on the core products, service contracts, gap, full tire and wheel. And that's the beauty of us being affiliated with True Warranty and being born out of a TPA, in that we can provide you with all of those other products as well. If you like our appearance protection product, marry that with one of our other products, warranties, gaps, tire and wheel, and marry that into a bundle. So we have that flexibility that other companies in our space just don't have.
How old is the company, Terry?
Exogloss actually was the appearance started inside of True Warranty about 5 years ago, but Exogloss was formulated a year ago, post-COVID. March 17th is when we started working on the build out of it. It was in a different iteration inside of True Warranty before, and we pulled that out, made it its own separate entity. But True Warranty has been around for 15 years. Started by Garen McMillian several years ago, and has morphed in from a reinsurance tax preparer to its connection with out of Fortegra, to its connection to the reinsurance and the F&I products. And we have a complete suite of F&I products. Whatever you could possibly think, whatever things you can think, we can put together for you.
So the chemicals, basically the latest, greatest technology.
The latest, greatest technology. Because of my background in the detail side, my work with ceramics. I mean, I worked with the true ceramics that would bake into, and you used leveling and infrared lights. I worked on those cars, and that product was $1,500 to $2,000. We can achieve that same level of appearance for considerably less than that in today's market. So because of my experience with chemicals and because of my experience in the detail department, I have aligned us as a distributor of products to get out to the detail or to the dealership world.
Awesome. We got a couple of comments. Ron Glant says, promote usage will help retention. And Kenneth Dunner, good evening, Paul and Terry. Kenneth Dunner is our friend from Sugar Land, Texas.
Hey, Kenneth.
Kenneth says, I don't have 500 Facebook friends. That's all right. You got a good friend right here. That's all you need, brother. And Steve Apicella says, customers want to be educated, inspired, and expect quality, transparency, not feel like they are being sold. Do the protection products truly protect? They should. Is service support simple and accessible? It better be. The days of peddling snake oil and jumping through analog rings of fire to get service should be long gone. Those who care about the future and strength of our industry are delivering solutions we can all be proud of after the point of sale. No, absolutely. So I want you to put your contact info in the thread, after the show. And so if somebody wants to get a hold of you, they can do so easily. And turnaround time, typically, if somebody wants to go live with your company.
Within 48 hours, we're connected with all of the major menu systems through PIN, F&I Express. We're connected to PCMI and all the major menus in the country. From start to finish, we can have your dealership up and running with Exogloss within 48 hours.
That's awesome.
We do, and because we were kind of developed in this post-COVID world, that we're able to do it on a remote basis. We can get some information from you. As far as the training, we can do that on a virtual basis, or we can come out to your dealership, depending on where you're at. Different areas, different states have different rules of engagement, if you will. So we can do it on a distance basis, or we can do it on an in-person basis in order to get your dealership set up. But 48 hours from start to finish, we can have your dealership up and running.
Time is of the essence. There's one thing we can never get back is time.
I love time. I love that piece.
48 hours later, they're up and running.
48 hours, we can get you started. So it's just a matter of, look, I appreciate the opportunity to come on your show. I understand, it's comfortable and casual seeing you in that chair. I'm glad that you're feeling better. That's most important. Thank you for the opportunity to come on here tonight, kind of share what we do. Your dealer vendor match website has been a tremendous tool for dealers to go to in order to get better acquainted. We're connected with that or affiliated with that as well. But I love the ability just to come on here, have a casual conversation with you about what we do. I'm passionate about what we do. So thank you for the opportunity for me to come on tonight. And if anyone wants to continue that conversation, I'll put it in the notes and we'll carry it on from there.
Awesome. Terry, thank you very much. Today's show is brought to you by DealerVendorMatch.com. I want to thank the audience for tuning in. I want to thank you all for your support and caring and sharing the show with your friends. Hope you have a successful week coming up, and I'll see you next week on Sunday Night Live. Thanks for tuning.
Thanks, Paul.
Hello, I'm Ed Roberts, Fixed Operations Director here at Ozark Ford Lincoln. How many times a day do you have someone asking you if you have a minute? When it's my staff, I have all the time in the world. Unfortunately, most of the time, it's a vendor telling me they have the silver bullet and they want a minute of my time to sell it to me. We all know they're going to take up a lot more than a minute. They're going to take up 30 to 45 minutes and put a hard sell on me trying to sell their product, whether it really benefits my business or not. I would like for them to do research on my business and truly bring something to me of value, but more times than not, they're just looking for a close. I was speaking with my friend Paul Meyer, and he told me about DealerVendorMatch.com. On DealerVendorMatch.com, there is a plethora of vendors from the front side of the business to the back side of the business and everything in between. Now you can find vendors on your terms, find what works for you, and then set up an appointment for them to come out and put together a presentation that is fitting to your business.